What's up, everybody? It's the DNVR podcast coming to you, not from the Toyota Lounge. We're live, and I love it because we're back in a place near and dear to you and me, Southern California, Manhattan Beach, the beautiful Toyota Center, and the Rookie Faceoff getting underway. Glad to have you guys along. We are with you all weekend. Gizmo, Tiff behind the controls, and of course our boy Rudo. A great cast of characters on hand, and we've got a real exciting week of stuff to bring you. But the important news is the Avs got off to their first Rookie Faceoff game against the Anaheim Ducks, a 4-3 loss. A lot of bounce back. We'll break down the game for you, and we'll talk about some highlights on some of the players. This might not be the most popular take right off the top, but holy smokes, I like the Ducks' new jerseys.
Oh, they're so good. A1.
I mean, they're good. Come on, everybody knows I've got some connection to LA,
and
but
their
they're
home
nice.
ones are like orange, like it's
I
orange.
love it in orange. I think it's better.
Because today they were white. You know, the orange pants and everything. You know, orange helmet, right?
It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
So tomorrow we'll get to see like probably the orange ones, like and then a little bit of white.
No, it was cool. I think too, it's fun being back in an environment like this where you've got people from all across the league kind of congregating. It's good for the players to have the exposure because you got look at what you have here. You've got power agents, GMs, head coaches, all the entire scouting team. Plus you got some family here. You got some friends here. They're milling around. It is a big weekend for these kids on like a lot of different levels, I think, Rudo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. By the way, the number of people here that Eric Lacroix knows is outrageous.
There's some handshaking going on.
He tells me he's got to go to the bathroom, and 45 minutes later, he still hasn't gone because he's talked to 15 different people. And, we mean real, legitimate hockey people here. The GMs of all of these teams are here. The scouting staffs for probably the entire league have people here. So maybe something you'll get into, Eric. There are some unsigned guys here that they're not only playing for whatever team they're here with, they're playing for a contract anywhere.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's start right there because that's a really great point that Rudo makes. You've got guys from, the Wings are walking around. I saw Winnipeg walking around. You got about everybody here because they're looking to move and claw and scrap. And I personally love being the fly on the wall for some of the conversations between opposing scouts and even just some of the questions the guys ask you.
Yeah, it's funny you guys are talking about this tournament because years back, like, it was only that tournament really in Traverse City, where there was about, I don't remember, a dozen teams or whatever. A lot of teams were just like, okay, we'll tag along with whatever, Phoenix, and then we'll just play an afternoon of, a game here and there. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it was. Traverse City was awesome. It was awesome for many reasons. It was good for the teams to get together and get there and have some sort of tournament-like atmosphere.
Yeah.
Where this is a little different here. It's not a tournament. It's not. It's just games. Where Traverse City there was a championship and all that kind of stuff. So this is a little different. Scouts and management and teams loved it. You know what I mean? So now, what is it? 7, 8 years, 9 years ago, whatever. This took a life of its own. Guys in the scouting world love it out west because you get a head start on your depth charts. Really, if you're a pro guy, you're getting a head start on the depth charts, right? Of guys that are going to play pro this year, you get to see them a little bit for a few games on the weekend. You don't have to travel all the way east to Traverse City, you know what I mean? So you're seeing a lot of guys around the league right now that are usually based out of the West, you know what I mean? So that's what you're seeing here. Former Avalanche, Brad Richardson, that works for Calgary, he lives in Phoenix, here's an example. Easy flight to get here. Easy time. You're seeing 7 of the teams out west that he's probably in charge of, right? You know what I mean? Yeah. That's kind of how it works. So, yes. And as far as the kids play, you get in here, you're some contracted guys. You got some guys that are drafted. You got some free agents. And that's the reason why you're here. Because sometimes there is no room on the team that you're even here for. But you can open eyes and you can open people's minds about your game, your own game, and say, oh, yeah, he was good in juniors, and I wonder how he's going to be in pro, or, you know what I mean? Where, again, this is not, let's not kid ourselves. those games are not of the caliber of the American Hockey League. They're not of caliber of the NHL. So guys will look good in rookie camp. They do. I mean, that's just life. You know what I mean? But like we always say, you're supposed to look good.
Right.
Right? If you're talking about, we'll get into some guys, but that's why I say there's a lot at stake for the Cal Ritchies of the world. Like, you know, Macklin Celebrini today. You're supposed to live up to the hype. And if you don't, it's like, okay, there's a striking. And if you do, it's like, oh, he was supposed to. You know what I mean? So it's not, you're really not gaining points, but you're feeling good about yourself and you're checking boxes. So I think on the weekend, as a player, you want to check boxes for whatever box fits you and fits your development where you're at.
And we'll talk about the Celebrinis of the world later on. Obviously, we know that we've talked about these guys a lot, and of course, there's a couple heavy hitters on the Sharks. We did catch up with them after their first game. We'll throw that up.
YouTube and Twitter, yeah.
Yeah, teaser. They did impress today. Celebrini looks fantastic, and he's as advertised as a person. But check out that presser. We'll throw it up on Twitter and on the site as well. So give that a look if you're curious. They both had some really good comments. I will tell you the only thing I will just say, because I didn't say it when I was speaking with them afterwards, there is an incredible amount of chemistry between those two. I mean, they're just having fun with each other. They told me they're going to be roommates on the road together. They're messing with each other in the locker room, so that's going to be a deadly combo. I think they're going to really feed off each other. So
BUBC, that's not. It doesn't work.
Cats and dogs living together, buddy. What was your first, before we get into specifics about the game, and we'll talk about that, and we'll break down some guys, what was your first overall just take of the day? Don't necessarily go the 4-3 game, but you kind of got a chance to kind of move around the space and meet some people today too.
Yeah, I mean, you want my first take?
Yeah.
The Avs need a better practice facility.
Toyota's there's great.
I don't want to bury the Avs on that. Family sports is fine. It does the job, but when you have these really nice facilities, it makes it feel a little bit more special for an event like this, where, yeah, it's just a practice facility. An NHL pro is going to come here and think this rink is anything special, but when you're putting on an NHL jersey and you have the opportunity, it deserves a little bit of respect when it comes to the buildings that you play an event like this in. And this building is super nice. It was an awesome day as a whole on this event, getting to meet a bunch of different people in and around the league. And honestly, as much as anything, I don't know if I want to call this meaningful hockey necessarily on the grand scale, but certainly watching NHL teams go to work.
Yeah, and I think that what this does provide these young future potential NHLers with is also a little bit of that taste of the big league. And when you step into a facility like this, it's nice. I mean, they're walking around, they're seeing it. They've toured through the King's room and their training facilities, and they've gotten to look at all that. So it's a little bit of a show off, and the Kings are doing a nice job hosting. But I think that's, again, we talked about it a little bit earlier. It's a little bit of a dangle of a carrot in front of the face to just one more thing of, man, I kind of want to be here.
Yeah, and not only that, you just said it. You're looking out not only in a great environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Manhattan Beach, El Segundo, Hermosa Beach, California. That's great. But you also wearing an NHL crest on your chest, which is very big for some of those kids. And you're looking up in the stands, and you're walking around the facility, and you're rubbing elbows. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Rudo was rubbing elbows with Coach Bednar, gave him the white paper slip, talked about his power play a little bit on the slip, slipped it under his,
I'm good with the power play. It's the PK that
I'm sorry.
Right. You guys talked about that for like an hour.
Coach,
like an hour.
Slipped the little piece of paper, and he's like, "Hey,
incredible.
Let's look at it later." And
I thought it was also impressive that they broke out they had the dry erase board out for a little bit too, which I was very impressed by.
So that's important. But as kids, you're looking in the stands, and you know what I mean. As a kid, you're looking in the stands, and I'll tell you one thing: I've been there. So you're sitting on the bench, and when you haven't been around the National Hockey League and the shrimp cocktails and the lobsters, and you look in the corner and you see Joe Sakic standing there, and then you see Jared Bednar. That's been a prominent figure in the NHL. He's what is he like? He's got to be. I mean, Cooper's got him. Who is he, second or third? I mean, he's got to be close.
It was him and Sully, I think, that were ahead of him, and that's it. Yeah.
Who?
Mike Sullivan.
Oh, Sully. Yeah. So anyway, he's He's a fixture with the Avalanche right now. And then you're looking around, and then you see other people, other GMs in the National Hockey League, and it's so important. It's so fun. It's fun for us to see some familiar faces, and it's fun to be in a hockey environment. And for me, this marks the start of the season. As much as I tell Rude all the time, like, oh, God, those games they're tough. You know, I mean, they are. I'm not going to lie and tell you that I get all excited. I get excited to be at the rink. I get excited that there are some plays being made.
Tough games are better than no games.
That's right. And then, but it's fun to be back and to see everyone. And, you know, I'll tell you, I couldn't be more excited. And I feel young again when I see those things. And it's like, man, I want to be young again. You know what I mean? It's weird because over the years you get older and you get, you know, heavier, but everybody does too. But some guys stay in great shape. I don't know what they do. Man, it's certainly not my case. So it's all good.
They're into Jarrett Stahl. He looks like he can still play.
Oh my God!
I'm like, hey,
Blakey
Stolly.
looks good.
Blake looks good. Crying
Joe
out loud.
looks good.
Joe
Joe
looks
looks
real
great.
good. I mean, I was like, hey, Joe, why don't you just take a couple shifts out there, bud?
You know what I mean?
Show these guys what's what.
Well, some guys don't. You know.
That's you can hang still. We'll get into the game here, and I want to break down some specific players and just the nuances of the game. But before we get there, you know, we're a tight crew. Everybody has a good time. E took us to a very special Southern California establishment this morning upon arrival. Let's just get into that real quick, bud, because it was glorious. It's great.
It was glorious. It was great to go sit by the beach. A little bit of the June gloom.
Little
June
marine
gloom
layer
in September. Yeah,
marine layer,
but we call it June gloom.
Right. Yeah.
In September.
In
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
But it was great. It was great with the crew. This is why it's fun. We have Kale here with us too.
Yeah.
You know, just obviously Tiff, but it's fun to just hang out together and go. We went to Uncle Bill's pancake place.
It's great.
Want to rub it in AJ's face a little bit, and then
It's great. It's delicious.
And I just wanted to make sure that, you know, he knew. I sent him a picture of a pancake. I got the finger back, but whatever. I'm just saying.
But eating
Emoji.
contest, first, second.
I didn't even
Last.
cross the line. Yeah, I didn't even cross the line. I was
He's
like
like a pigeon. Him
Dude.
and Kale are like two pigeons.
I ate half a Kale's meal for him.
You did.
Like this, like,
you did. I mean, it was delicious. I love Uncle Bill. I love Uncle Bill's. I've been going there for a long time. It's just a lot of food.
It is
It's a lot of food. And that's part of the experience, right? It's part of the experience for everybody, you know. And I think that if you can get into something and you can enjoy it and you can enjoy the people you're doing it with, it's cool. And that's one of the themes for these guys. And we'll talk about that with the Avalanche, because one guy in direct specifics that I want to speak to, I thought he was great today on a lot of levels, is Jason Polin. And obviously he wore the C. He'll wear it the weekend we talked to him, and I'll have that for you in just a second. But I want to get you guys as an impression on him. And I'm a big, we said this the other day, I'm a big captain guy. I'm a big letter guy. I think it's important. This is a guy who's familiar with it. He was captain at his college, knows what he's doing, is a good leader. And you'll hear the interview in just a moment. But one thing that struck me with him was how important it was to kind of bring this group together, even though they haven't been together a long time. It was a real veteran comment from him, and it really struck me because I think you saw that a little bit in the way that they fought back. So why don't we just start there with kind of the influence and just our general impressions on Polin. And by the way, he had a beautiful goal on the power play there on that nice pass by Ritchie.
Yeah, with Polin, I think there are a handful of guys every year that fall into the category of, what are you doing here? Macklin Celebrini, Cal Ritchie, think guys that fall into that category. And I think from a skills perspective on the ice, Jason Polin falls into that category. Mm-hmm. But then you look at the C on his chest, you look at the fact that he played in the Avs organization last year, got an NHL game last year, and he's a guy that comes to this type of event for Colorado, and he's the guy who says, hey, follow me. I'll show you how to be a pro at an event like this. I'll show you what you need to be doing to make it to that next level, at very least the AHL, and more probably the NHL. And certainly through one game of this, he's lived up to every expectation the Avs possibly could have had of him, both from the leadership side and the play on the ice side of it. And I was talking to Eric while we were watching the game, and both of us just looked at each other and said, yeah, he's going to play in the NHL this year. He's going to get NHL games this year. So that type of guy is how you build rosters. And he's not going to be a great NHL player or anything. He's probably going to be a bottom six guy, maybe a call-up, something like that. But those guys are how you build culture.
And I want to get yours on this. And speaking of building culture, it's also, before you can do that, building a foundation, and that start on the ground up. And that's why we love the gang over at Empire Today.
Let's go.
Was that good?
Round up.
Yeah.
You were
Saw
on
what
it.
I
You
did
were
there?
on it.
Yeah, I had that one. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. With Empire Today, you get shop-at-home convenience, the right product for your needs, quick and professional installation, and a price match guarantee. Empire Today is the best place to get new flooring. So, of course, there's going to be copycats out there. There's going to be guys trying to imposter. You know that. That's just how it is. That's life. But they can't beat Empire Today on quality, service, and speed. Those other guys are going to advertise that low-quality product, and it's just not. It's not something you're going to care about. It's not something you want. It's about the brand. It's about the value. It's about the consistency. It's about the service. It's about the speed in which you get it done. And Empire Today certainly has it. Their philosophy is to help you find what you need and not overwhelm you with thousands of choices and substitutes. And you got to check out their virtual flooring system. You can literally, plug it in. It's going to lay the flooring in your room. You're going to see how it cooperates with your decor so that you're getting the right colors. You're getting the right feel, look, warmth, everything. Empire Today is your 100% go-to to start from the ground up and make sure that you build on it from there. Schedule a free in-home estimate today. All listeners can receive $350 off discount when they use promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. See empiretoday.com/DNVR for details.
Eric, let me ask you guys something. When'd you guys get up today?
3:15 in the morning.
Mountain time.
Mountain
so that's
time.
2:15 here in LA.
Correct.
So it's been a long day.
Yeah.
us.
Oh, yeah.
More work to do. We got a lot more content coming your way. But when we're done today, you bet your bottom dollar I'm opening up a beer tonight.
Oh, yes.
And it's going to be a Breck Brew.
Yes.
That's what we do here. They've got their Avalanche Amber Ale. They're not just in Colorado. They're here in LA. They're in all 50 states at this point. So you can get yourself a Breck Brew, the official craft beer of DNVR. Jump on the train with them. Go to breckbrew.com. Find them on their Breck Beer locator at your local liquor store. Go pick yourself up some. Even if you're not an amber guy, they have dozens of flavors. So a beer for everybody over at Breck Brew. Again, use that beer locator online and check them out at breckbrew.com.
Cheers to that, Bruto.
Let's go.
Nice tag team on that.
Yeah, we
Nice.
got it.
Let's
We're
go,
locking
boys.
it down
See that
out
right
here.
there? No, you're good.
No,
You're
I'm just taking notes.
No, it's fine. You're
I'm
good.
taking notes from you.
It's Breck Brew. BRECK.
This is your rookie face-off for ad
Brew,
reads
brew
right
with a
here,
B,
yeah.
not a C.
I'm the best ad reader.
Before we
there is.
jump in really quick, we do have one question from the chat. Name here asking if Avs training camp will be open to the public for the Avs at Family Sports Center. Yes, the entire training camp is open to the public. You can come down. We will be there every single day, so come down, come say hi to us. Have a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited to actually meet a lot of you. I appreciate the outpouring, too. And I haven't really said that yet. I know I'm still kind of the new guy here, but super cool of all y'all to be so kind and welcome in. I really do appreciate it, and all the new followers. And by all means, please come say hi in person if you're hanging out at the rink, because I like meeting new people. And I'm just going to warn you, I am a hugger. I'm a hugger. So
They might be here too.
Yeah.
Toyota Center.
Oh yeah, and if you're here,
Absolutely.
please come say hi. All right, as we get started with period number 2, we were talking about Jason Polin. Great stuff on him. The overall takeaway: a leader, as Rita was saying, a guy that's going to play in the NHL. We're going to hear from him in a second, but just your overall take and impressions on his performance today.
All right, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to put my scouting hat on now. I'm looking at a guy like Jason Polin. He's 25 years old. He's not 18. That's 7 years older than some guys that are here. So, like I said to you, you're in a position that you're supposed to do good. You're supposed to pop. You're supposed to look good. I was talking to someone earlier. Sorry, I don't want to sneeze. And I was talking to somebody earlier, and I was thinking, I set him short a little bit. I said, this is a guy that scored like 20 goals in college hockey. I forgot he scored 30. I mean, you know how many people scored 30 goals last year in college hockey? There was Macklin Celebrini. There was Cutter Gauthier. There's not that many more. I don't have it in front of me. So this is a guy clearly that can score. We saw it today.
Yep.
All right. Scouting hat on. I don't care that he scored a goal today. I really don't. I don't care who scores goals. I don't look at that in a game in a situation like this, because what I saw, and I'll wait till we talk about Ritchie. And, we're going to talk about that. Because I told you, we'll write it down. So I'm going to wait till then. But I look to see, can this guy, not on a rookie faceoff in September game, can this guy help me win a game with his play in the National Hockey League, which might be 7 to 8 minutes a night. Let's just be honest. So I'm Jared Bednar today, which we all know he was here.
Yep.
AJ was slipping him the notes in the pocket.
Hanging out.
Right? About the PK. But Jared Bednar's here. He looks at this. I'm him. I take notes. I'm like, yep. All right.
Check a box.
I'm checking a box because this guy can maybe help me this year.
You're looking for specific things.
I'm looking for specific, and we have the perfect example because Rudo and I looked at each other. We wrote it down. It's written right here in the chicken scratch right here. We'll talk about it. We'll wait for Ritchie. So I put my hat on and I give him praises today.
Yeah.
I absolutely do because I'm like, forget about the goal. I'm like, yeah, great, awesome. Even I could score a goal today. It's fine, and I can't move. I'm kidding. Maybe I can't anymore. I probably would have pulled my groin or
No, you scored.
Whatever. But Rudo could have scored today, not me.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. So I look for different things. Puck drop. He got involved.
Yep.
He's on the puck. He's physical.
Well, he took the leadership role very seriously.
But you could see it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, he's gonna have a good game. And then when you do the right things, points come. You know what I mean? So in a situation like today, he is on the power play. I say it all the time: the good ice and not the crap ice.
Mm-hmm.
Tough to produce when you get crap ice, but you can produce differently.
Mm-hmm.
You can produce in the eyes of a coach like Bednar, whether it's getting the puck off the wall. Oh, that's as big as a goal. You know what I mean? Like, it's the little things. And if he learns to do that, and I agree with Rudo, because he said it clear out loud in front of the Anaheim guys, and then you could see the Anaheim guys writing notes down about Jason Polin. He was being his agent. This guy's going to play in the National Hockey League this year, and he's right. Rudo's right. You know what I mean?
He will.
I think we will see a lot more of him.
He's got the pedigree.
I sure hope there's no NHL scouts taking my notes. They're in trouble if they're following my notes.
Don't sell yourself short there, bud. Do not sell yourself short.
Just saying.
Been around hockey a long time. Your takes and your vision on this are very good. Don't you undersell yourself there, my young friend. No, he's a well-spoken young man. He took the leadership role seriously, and we did have a chance to catch up with him post-game here at the Toyota Center. This is what Poles had to say.
Well, you're no stranger to captaincy. What did your time as captain at Western Michigan lend to your role as a leader in this tournament?
Yeah, I'm an older guy, experienced. I kind of expected to be a leader here, just being one of the older guys here. But being a captain at Western, kind of prepares you for being a leader, even if you're not a captain in the future. So, just kind of take that into the experience here. So, hopefully, the guys can look up to me and I can provide some information and help them out.
Different kind of leadership role, right? Because, it's kind of a cobbled group. It's not guys that you're necessarily used to all the time. How'd you change your leadership role to sort of accommodate this?
Yeah, we're still trying to build a chemistry. We got one practice under our belt before we came out here. So, just trying to get everyone together, get to know each other as best we can off the ice. So that'll help us on the ice. But, I'd say we're pretty close already. And, we'll just continue to build over the weekend.
What specifically does Ivan bring to the leadership group? It's a couple of guys you're familiar with, having played with both ALLCITY and Ivan with the Eagles last year.
Yeah, he's just another guy that he had a great year last year. He's got experience under his belt, so guys can feed off him, and some of the European guys that don't speak the best English, they can communicate with him. So it's a little easier for those guys. So he brings the presence in the locker room and out on the ice too. So it's great to have him on leadership as well.
A lot of grit by you guys out there in this one. Got down but kept battling back. Didn't get away with the win. But what's that speak to of the makeup and the importance to these guys and what they're trying to prove to coaches, management, etc. here?
The goal is just to go out there and compete. It's a little the ice was a little soft out there, so not as clean plays. So it just comes down to compete and effort, and that's what everyone's looking for. And when you got that, things will work out your way.
Robbed of a game at the last Rookie Faceoff after a really impressive showing there. What are you looking to build upon in your second go-around here?
Just like you said, I missed a game, so just get that experience back. Just get another game here, and hopefully just continue to get better and just have a fun weekend.
Nice power play goal. Take us through it.
There's a scrum in the corner. Nice play out to Barons, and back to Ritchie, and it was just a great feed over to me. Just had a wide open net, just had to bury the puck. So it was a great feed by Barons and great feed by Ritchie.
Ritchie's face-off debut, what can you do as a line mate to help him acclimate and just feel comfortable out there?
It's the first game. You're not going to be crisp as you want to be, but for us as wingers, it's just trying to get in 50-50 battles. You got to try and help him win those battles for him. But I thought he did a good job today for his first game. So.
What's the message from the coaching staff coming into this, just to kind of set you guys in the right mindset? Obviously there's going to be some nerves, but what was kind of said to you guys to just say, this is what we expect, this is what we're looking for, kind of just go do this?
Just compete. Go out and play your game. They gave us the systems, and it's just up to us to go out and play our game and stick to the systems, and things will work out for us.
What were some challenges you faced last year that have influenced your goals for this upcoming season?
Oh yeah, it was my first year pro, so obviously I want to go out there and produce, and didn't quite perform to the level that I wanted to be. So just take that into consideration to train this summer, and just want to come back and prove I'm the player that I am, and this is one step in the right direction.
Rumor has it you guys have the best setup here. Is that accurate? I mean, they had to make a bunch of locker rooms here at the Toyota Center. Looks like you're outside. Looks like it's nice. I mean, do you have the best setup of all the teams?
I think locker room wise, yeah. Other than the walk outside, it gets a little hot in between periods with the sun bearing down on us. But we got a great setup in there, so can't complain.
I know he's a new addition to the Eagles bench this year. I know it's really new, but what kind of influence has he had already?
A lot of energy. He's a high energy guy. He's always smiling, trying to pick us up. It really influences us. You see a guy that's smiling, trying to get the best out of you, and one game it's been great having him on the bench. Keep things light.
All good.
This will be my last one. What kinds of things have you done this offseason to prepare for next year?
I think just getting stronger and faster. It's pretty cliche, but that was my goal, is to just try and get strength. I'm not playing college hockey. I'm playing against men now, so just trying to get stronger, faster, and just shoot the puck more.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, bud.
Great kid. Love getting to talk to him, kid. I mean, I could say he's a kid. I'm 43 years old. God, I am getting old. You guys,
am I allowed to say he's a kid?
Yeah, no. You guys made us feel old today with some of your comments.
You
young
guys are old. That's your own fault. All right?
Who doesn't watch cable?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
They're missing movie references. I don't know. Cats and dogs living together, like I said earlier. I don't know what's happening here, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, listen, said all the right things. You could just really truly see that he enjoyed. He enjoyed being in the moment. And, the one other thing he said, to me after we stopped recording was he's like, man, I'm having fun. And I was like, well, I think that's one of the most important things about the game of hockey. If you're having fun, you can start there.
I think you talked about this a little bit the other day, but look, you can give an A to anybody. The alternate captain, whoever can wear that.
Yeah.
You got to give a C to someone in particular, even in an event like this. People carry themselves a certain way when they're a captain, and Polin fit into that, like you said.
It has purpose, too. There's a reason they gave it to him. That's another thing that the staff is looking to check a box on.
Oh, you do. And then it shows that what we've been saying, right? I think last year his development curve would have been a little bit more, trajectory going that way if it wasn't for an injury that, ironically suffered at the rookie faceoff. Remember, I think he hit the board funny and ended up going to the hospital and slowed him down. But you got to remember, it's all part of it. It's all part of the development. He ended up playing 50 games, whatever it was. But when you leave college hockey, I call it the weekend league, right? Because it is. You got, Sunday off, and then you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You go heavy, and there's lifts and practices that the Zamboni goes on. Then it's not power play practice, and there are long days, plenty of practice, and then all of a sudden you have a game Friday, Saturday, which a lot of times are at home. You're not even traveling. If you're playing, Hockey East or whatever, you take a 20-minute bus, a 4-minute bus, or you know what I mean. So I call it the weekend league because you get to play on weekends, and then you play 30, 35 games a year, and next thing you know, you're on planes, you're on trains, you're playing 70 games. It's a lot on your body, and I think you learned a lot last year, and it will be beneficial this year for him.
Looking at the chat, people are kind of making the question: Is there Landy vibes there?
I mean, I can't go there. I can't.
There's a skill gap there. Just not that Polin isn't a great player. Like I said, I think he's going to be a guy in the NHL this year. But Landeskog has been a top 6 player for a decade before this injury. So.
Let's separate the skill part out. How about the leadership vibes, the spoken vibes?
I certainly think there's some there. I don't know the kid well enough to compare him to Landy, so I'm not going to go that far. But certainly, like I mentioned, he certainly carries himself the right way.
Very early morning, significantly long day. Great breakfast. It's been a little nothing really after breakfast. I'm hungry. You guys are hungry. I know Tiff's hungry. I need some Raising Cane's. I mean, I really do. I mean, can you get any better than the Raising Cane's chicken fingers?
You could put Raising Cane sauce on them.
Well, that is make it better.
Sauce in the league.
I mean,
Sauce boss.
Let's go. Make a pit stop at Raising Cane's for that craveable hand-battered chicken fingers. They're always cooked to order. They're made just for you. They're delicious and they're fast. Order up tender chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries on that buttery Texas toast, and don't forget the creamy coleslaw and secret cane sauce. Find your local Raising Cane's location or order on mobile or online. And I'll tell you something right now. I make the sandwich out of them. I take the bread and I slather it, and I put the tenders in there, and then I'll eat the fries, and then I'll save I'll save a finger for the outside.
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of like my thing, and I do use. The fingers are my favorite, but I'm a big fan of the slaw, too.
I'm not a big slaw guy. Just give me some fries. I will say their Texas toast, amazing.
Texas toast is ridiculous.
I'd eat dirt if you put cane sauce on it, so you could put it on anything.
No.
But it's not dirt. It's good.
No. Cane sauce on those chicken fingers, so lights out. So for quick to order hand-battered chicken fingers, race to Raising Cane's. Turbocharge your chicken fingers and get them even faster by ordering online at raisingcanes.com or through their mobile app. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. Oh, they're so good. I do love them. That could be on the horizon.
Yeah, that's a good choice. We'll get it this weekend for sure.
Right, good. I love it.
Eric, you know what time it is for the LA Kings?
Game time.
It's game time. You can also get to Game Time by using the Game Time app to get all of your tickets. Join over 15 million people that get their tickets through Game Time today, and use the code DNVR when you sign up to get $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets even easier when it comes to your favorite live events. That includes things like concerts in the theater, not just sports. Get your Game Time Picks filters out and make sure you take a look at the best options. They'll get rid of all the fluff, all the stuff you don't want to go to. Don't worry about it. Game Time knows you want to go to the big events. That's where the Game Time picks come in. So again, use that DNVR code with the Game Time app today and join 15 million people getting.
All right, what did you think of the team's response coming out of the second?
Love being here with you all. Thank you so much for being with us on the DNVR Avs Pod. We're coming to you live from the Toyota Center in El Segundo. Flew in early today. Lots more to come. We've got a lot more people, too, that we're going to talk to, and some really cool special guests that we're going to roll in. But let's get back to the game. 4-3 loss. Come from behind effort by the Avalanche. They showed a lot of character. We just talked about the leadership of Polin and what a great job he did scoring a goal. But certainly probably the number one star, not a surprise, was Cal Ritchie. 3 assists, including the assist on the power play goal to Poles. Really liked the way he played. He was very solid. He looked good. He looked strong, and he was good in both ends of the ice.
I'll give you the first, and I'll talk about our play after.
Let me start with a mea culpa then, because when the Avs drafted him, didn't like the pick. He was billed as a guy who was well-rounded, good at everything, but not great at anything. And I always have concerns about guys like that going into the NHL. You want to see a skill that you know they do at the NHL level. And guess what? He showed up at this tournament and said, you know what? I do all the things at the NHL level. Everything was good. Yes, the assists are great. The passing, the vision was there. It was awesome. But it's not those things, like Eric talked about, that really sell you on guys like this. It's the little details. It's him on the forecheck. It's him winning the face-off that sets up the second goal for the Avs. Mm-hmm. It's not – the points are great. Awesome. Cool. Whatever. But when you see a guy with NHL habits at an event like this, they stand out.
And by the way, the pass he made, the pass he made to Poles on that power play goal was great. I mean, the vision, and I talked about that in that article that I wrote. And if you guys haven't read that, that's up on the site. So check out my takeaway on Cal. But I really do like the way that he sees the ice. His hockey IQ shown today.
Yeah. And like I said, there's guys out there, the nerves take over, and when you're nervous out there, when you're scared or you're scared of failure, right? You're out there, you can tell you don't want the puck. You can tell that guy doesn't want the puck. That's not the case with this kid. This kid wants the puck. And it's not like Beaver tapping on the ice like, oh, give me the puck. No, it's like looking at the guy and it's like, give it to me. You know what I mean? And then putting himself in a position to say, give it to me. You're not having a wrong angle and then looking back and you're like, that's what I say, you don't want the puck. No, it's I'm going to take the right angle. I'm going to make sure I give myself a nice outlet where my legs are moving, my head's up, I've shoulder checked. I've seen him all over the ice today, shoulder checking, being a step ahead, right? Because that's what he's going to have to do in the National Hockey League because he's got great puck skills, he's got great puck vision, he's got great IQ. It's important that you do what you do best, right? Now, with that said, what I wanted to say earlier about Polin and Ritchie, yeah, great, got 3 assists, awesome. He's supposed to do that. Yeah. Again, I'll be that guy. You know what I mean? Check mark. Yeah, great. You got the job done. But what I saw, what I liked, and Rudo liked to look at each other, in the second period, there was an icing.
I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. There was an icing, and, they'll learn you can't really show that much that you're absolutely gassed and you can't breathe. And they're hunched over him, Polin and Olofsson. I don't remember who was on the back end, but they were absolutely toasted. And that's when you're toasted like that, your brain doesn't connect. And I'll tell you one thing, that's when you make the brain farts, right? You know what I mean? That's where, like Big Z, you know what I mean, back then, Zador, like he would make his big mistakes, his big gaffes. So we're looking at each other, we're like, oh boy, this could be interesting, right? So what do they do? That's why I say forget about goals and assists. Like Ritchie wins the big draw.
Yep.
I believe in that plays against Gauthier, right? He's a guy that's going to play in the NHL this year. Everybody talks about, our Philly guys are probably...
He's got 10 pounds on Ritchie.
Yeah, and our Philly guys don't like Cutter. It's fine. I get it. We understand. And he's a
Why?
BC guy.
What do you mean? Is something happened? Is something weird there? Is there an issue?
Cal wins. Callum wins the faceoff. Polin absolutely looks like a freaking NHLer. Moves the body around, goes like this, takes 3 seconds. Bucks out, past the red line, dumb change. Those are plays that Jared Bednar, Rudo's friend, all of a sudden is like, all right, this is what I like to see. You know what I mean? And that's what tells me that there's maturity right there on Cal Ritchie's game. And again, I'm throwing Polin and Mexico together on that play. And I'll tell you one thing, that gives me hope, and that gives me an eye-opening a little bit of, he wasn't here last year, he was injured. Right? So now you get to see him. I talked to a few guys, as you know, this is the hockey world, and guys were excited to see him. Guys were excited to see Cal Ritchie because it's the first question people ask. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, how's that Cal Ritchie? And then how's that Oscar Olofsson? And again, we can talk about it after.
Well, in the chat, Dom brings up the question. I wonder if it'll be Belmar or Ritchie as 4C. And you know what? I think the answer you're not expecting here is Belmar's probably the 4C because Cal Ritchie might be playing on the third line to start this season.
Sure.
Nathan McKinnon at the NHL media tour talked about Arturi Lehkonen, said, hey, he's probably not going to be ready for game 1. So there's some opportunity there. And after a day like today, you got to think Cal Ritchie's at the front of the line at very least.
Here's the thing. When you're in, you're in.
Yep.
All you need is a foot in the door. Just put a foot in the door.
Don't call me urine. That is not nice. God, I have feelings.
We've talked about this.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Buddy. Oh, it's okay.
No, but I agree with you. You're here to make an impression. You're here to make them make decisions. Coach, C-Mac, Joe, You want me as a backup goalie? I'll be the backup goalie. It's all good. That's your answer. You put your head down, you go work. But on plays like today, that's what I'm saying. He's shown them that he's versatile enough, he's smart enough, and he can play the game of hockey. You can cheat the game of hockey. A lot of people can do that coming out of juniors. Sounds like he can play the game of hockey, which is very important. Check mark. Job well done. Probably won't get to see him tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't think that a guy like that's going to play tomorrow in a back-to-back. There's plenty of extra bodies, but it's okay. Recharge. You ready to go? Pass another test Monday.
Go play Macklin on Monday.
Yeah, and you're hoping Macklin. You
That'd
should.
be cool.
Call him out on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm saying is, yeah, you got to challenge yourself, and it sounds like he talked about that yesterday, right? A little bit in his presser that he wants the pressure and pressure's earned, and I think they have a good one from what we're seeing right now, and then we'll see what happens. Obviously, with bigger and better days ahead of training camp, not to knock this place out, but
Yeah.
rub elbows with McKinnon.
Number 24, that top line was good. They produced 2 goals. 5 points come off of that. Let's talk about Oscar and our thoughts on him today.
Yeah, Olausson was good. A lot of the things we already knew about him. We knew he was a good shooter. I think he showed good vision tonight, had some good chemistry with Ritchie and Polin. The reality of his game is he needs a Jason Polin on his line, though. He needs someone that's willing to do a little bit of that dirty work, and Olausson has to be the finisher. I would really love to see him lock in a little bit more on things like his forechecking details and things like that. Those are still things that I don't quite see at an NHL level to his game. But if you can give him opportunity with the right players, you staple him to a Polin, you staple him at an NHL caliber level to maybe someone like a Logan O'Connor. Yeah, I could see how it could work. Another guy, Olausson, a true winger. The Avs need help at wing early in the season. Maybe there's something there.
I'd be lying to you if 4 or 5, again, it's a circle of friends in the National Hockey League. When you've been around the league for so long, your friends are part of different organizations, and there's a trust factor, and you can go ask that guy, I'll ask this guy, I'll talk to Eric, and I can tell you right away. We walked in the building this morning, and first guy, how's that Oscar Olausson? How is he? Am I right on him? Am I wrong on him? And when I talk about...
You had a 10-minute conversation about him.
And when you're talking about silver spooners, and that's what it is, right? And again, remember the term. It's a complimentary term. It's not a downgrading term, right? Silver spooner will get the opportunities. The shine's coming off of the spoon right now. So now it all levels off. So all of a sudden, you might be in the same position as Ivan, coming up very shortly here. And that's not knocking Oscar off. I'm saying, but you have to figure out what you are. Rudo did call it, said after the first period, don't worry, he's going to score a goal, and that's what he does. And and he did. You called it. We'll see what happens. I mean, like you said, there are openings. Do I put him in there as one of my favorite guys to play the real hockey game today? No, he's not in my list. He's not on my 3 studs or whatever. We're gonna be, you're gonna be writing studs and duds. I'm sure.
Yep.
No offense to his game, he was okay. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't say for me, Callum, Ritchie was awesome. For me, Polin was awesome. This guy was good. It's okay. Okay.
We're going to hear in a little bit. We had a chance to catch up with Coach Aaron Schneekloth, who's the head coach of the Eagles. He's got head coaching duties for this rookie tournament. High Note and Brandon are on the bench as well. We'll get to him in a second, but Ivan played on that second line. He picked up an assist, as we talked about, and it was a nice assist to Max Curran, who had a goal. Just quick thoughts on them, and then we'll touch on the goaltending also before we say so long today.
Yeah, for Ivan, he's a smart player. He continues to earn by doing 2 things. Be smart, work hard. The skill level's pretty limited there. That's just the reality of who he is as a player. But intelligence and hard work can get you. The sky's the limit. He's never going to be Nathan McKinnon, but you can turn yourself into a Pierre-Edouard Bellemare. You can turn yourself into an NHL player with enough gumption and hard work and the intelligence to know what's happening out on the ice. In Curran's case, drafted this year, one of the youngest guys here for Colorado, who did bring a bit of an older contingent. a saying that gets thrown around a lot in hockey. If you're a good offensive player, the puck will find you. The puck was finding Curran a lot today. Execution at times not perfect, but again, this is a guy who's putting on an NHL jersey for the first time in his life. There's probably a little bit of nerves there. For him to consistently find himself at the center of plays and then ultimately score a goal for Colorado at an event like this, you got drafted, 2 months ago? Less than 2 months ago? About 2 months ago, whatever. It's a good first step in a career towards earning an NHL contract.
I agree with you. I mean, quickly, I thought Max was awesome. I thought Ivan was awesome. This is why this tournament turns out great for some kids, and he's the great example last year. Ivan was that guy that you talk about, that you come in here as an invite, you end up with an NHL contract. That is, there you go, mission accomplished, right? Yep. And, don't forget about Nikita.
Yeah, the thing about Prishchapov, I think he went 10 for 10 in the faceoff circle. Won all of them. He took a couple against Cutter, too, and won those. So, a very weird specific skill set. I liked him, though. He had a couple of nice set-up offensive plays, too. Sprung someone on a breakaway. They didn't end up scoring. I forget who it was. But it was a nice little neutral zone play to spring a guy. There's some talent there. He's a little bit older, 20-year-old, so, you expect a little bit more, but good.
I want to dig in a little more tomorrow, hoping that he gets back in the lineup. Chase Bradley. I want to Neil Shea, son of Avalanche.
For an invite? Yeah, I thought Neil Shea stood up for sure.
Son of Avalanche, New England scout. Neil Shea, awesome guy. Google it, Beam Pod Trot. One of the.
Oh my
God. No, don't do that.
Video.
Actually, don't. Do not Google that.
Sorry, Neil. Sorry, Neil.
It's
sorry.
the ultimate cringe is that video.
Sorry, God. Sorry, Neil. But I thought he was awesome, and I want to touch up a little bit right now on Sean Behrens because friend of the show, was here yesterday with us, and I thought he was, as advertised.
Yep. I don't think he really popped, but super solid on a defense where, let's be honest, he played PK, he played power play, he played 5-on-5 a ton. So he's doing a lot for that defense at this tournament.
All right, we'll talk about a couple more things, including goaltending. Just a quick breath, though, here on the DNVR pod from the Toyota Center in El Segundo. Okay, picking up where we left off, I know there's a few other guys that you guys want to get to before we head to. We want to hear from Coach, but what do you got? Talk to me.
I want to go back to Sean again.
Yeah, okay.
Because I got cut off, and he's my guy. NHL habits. I watched him today. NHL habits. You talk about shoulder checks. Knowing your surroundings, knowing where you are on the ice is very important in the National Hockey League. He's out there. He's a step ahead a little bit. He's always looking around, always knowing what's coming up. Is he the biggest guy in the world? No. Does he play hard? Yes. College hockey, some big dudes out there. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. But today was a pretty big team. I mean, Anaheim was pretty big. I thought there was a very, very heavy team, I thought, a little bit. Handles himself well. Will get used to, again, a pro schedule, which is different than college. But I like what I saw out of Sean today. For me, it's a check mark there, and it's like, all right, a big step above, no offense to the other 5Ds dressed tonight. He stood out like a sore thumb right now, in a good way.
One of those dudes is on an NHL contract, and 5 of those dudes are invites.
That's my point.
Sean Behrens is supposed to look better than those guys. Yeah,
that's why I said check mark.
Yep.
We'll hear from Coach in just a second. Want to get to it, but goaltending.
Your boy Vinny, take it.
I'm a boy Vinny. I like Vinny, not because he's French from Quebec City. I thought he was awesome. He made some point-blank shots. This is a guy that's, wasn't playing a lot, wanted to show that he's the number one. Transfers to Quinnipiac, was awesome. Played almost every game last year. He had a great year. Comes to development camp. I thought he did well. Development camp is what it is. And then now he's here, and he has that start today. I always say, if it's not here, it could be for different teams. And I can tell you that some teams were talking about him today because they're like, this guy's not signed, doesn't have a deal. I think he ends out of here with some sort of a deal. It could be an American Hockey League 2A, and it might not be with the, as we all know, the crease is crowded in Loveland. We all know that.
Yep.
But it might be that he ends up with some sort of a deal somewhere. I thought he was great. I thought he probably the only game he's going to play, right? And I thought he made the most of it, and he made people open their eyes about him a little more. So good on him. I thought he was great.
Yeah, and no argument. Eric, you kind of mentioned it. He's not a scrambler. He's a guy who's very steady, gets square to pucks, plays the goalie position in that, I don't want to call it patient, but very solid, fundamental way. And it's easy to like those guys, right? When you see a scrambler, some nights unbelievable, and then some nights they scramble and they give up 7. He kept the Avs from getting 7 dropped on him today. He made a couple of great saves.
He made a couple of huge saves. Yeah.
And again, no offense to the decor that was put together there, but it's not a lot of experience.
Yeah.
And, as a goaltender, that can be a little scary,
Yeah.
because, Colangelo, Gauthier. So there's some good guys coming at you, and I thought he was up to the task. I thought he was awesome, and it could have been, but he gave up 4. Yeah, great, awesome. I thought he was one of the good players for the Avalanche today.
All right, we did get to catch up with Coach Schneek, and he kind of filled us in on just what his take was and the impressions of the locker room, and he also keyed on a couple of guys we talked about. Let's see what he had to say.
All right, what did you think of the team's response coming out of the second period? I know they were trailing, but it did seem like they started to build some momentum.
Yeah, I thought third period we were skating well. We had a lot of possession time and some pretty good chances. A couple broken sticks there in the third that seemed to hinder some good opportunities for us. But overall, pretty happy, really happy with the effort. A lot of first games for everybody, and kind of a lucky goal for them in the third that kind of ended up sealing our fate. But overall, really happy with the guys' effort and how they made some adjustments, and their game got better as each period went on.
It did seem like a little bit of a herky-jerky kind of first and second, and then a lot of whistles too. And then that third got going a bit there. I think it was like 6 minutes with no whistle, but then the Twigs got into play. Did you feel the flow of the game was maybe a little weird early on?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of expected, one practice, travel out, get a new lineup together, trying to build some chemistry, and guys are trying to learn and make an impression. There's probably a little bit of nerves early on in the period, and but you could feel it on the bench. Guys are getting a little bit more comfortable with who they're playing with and what we wanted to do structurally. And biggest thing is those guys, we want them to play to their strengths. We don't want them to play cautious, and they're here for a reason. They were invited here for a reason because they're all good hockey players, and they all have certain attributes that they're good at. And I thought the third period was a pretty good indication of that.
Ivan had an impressive rookie face-off last year. What kind of standard did he set for himself, and how can he exceed it?
Well, I think, one, you saw his pace and his skating out there today. I think it stood out for us for sure. And now it's just a matter of him sharpening up in some areas. But his standard's high. Our expectation of him is high. He had a lot of growth last year, but the work's not done. He's got to continue to go in some areas, like into the hard areas, being strong in front of the net. We know he's got some explosive skating, and he's strong on his feet coming out of the corners. So out there this afternoon, probably a little bit expecting some more execution tomorrow. But that's going to be standard for everybody that played tonight. Everyone's going to get better as the tournament goes on.
3 assists for Ritchie. Assess his play. Looked good on the power play, gelled with his line pretty well. Thought he skated very good. Thought he was good in the defensive zone. What was your take on his game today?
I was impressed with him. Big, strong guy through the middle of the ice. I thought he was outstanding on the power. Very deceptive. On the goal, you see he comes downhill, freezes, gets a D-man to drop. Goalie freezes, makes a nice little slip to the middle, and Polin puts it in an open net. So obviously his vision on the ice is very high, and you're going to see his confidence grow for a guy that didn't get a lot of training last summer. Jumped into a season late, had a nice production in the OHL, and obviously you can tell he put in the work this summer to give himself a shot.
Sean Behrens, it's his first rookie face-off, but he is maybe a more experienced or on the older side of some of the players in this tournament. What do you need to see from him being kind of a leader among the defensemen?
Well, he's a leader on the bench and in the locker room, and first rookie tournament for him, playing against some pro players, and he's going to have some growing pains, but he's a guy that's obviously handled himself extremely well on the big stage, and it's only going to be a matter of time before we see his game elevate and play to the standard that he expects as well.
Speaking of leadership, we spoke to Polin about him elevating that role. That's something he wanted to do come in. Obviously, he's not a stranger to the sea. What do you think about his leadership? How did he do? Did he kind of exceed the expectations you guys were looking for him to set in this event?
Yeah, I thought, leadership-wise, you're always going to lean on the returning players, right? So Polin, Olausen, Ivan, Steinberg, Pavel, like those are the guys that some of these, younger players are going to automatically look to, right? They've been through it. They've had a year of pro under their belt in the American Hockey League. They've got some NHL experience as well. So it's natural for the younger players to look up to those guys. They've been through it. So as a coaching staff, I'm comfortable and familiar with those guys to do the job as well behind the scenes and continue to provide these guys with the same message that we're giving them as a coaching staff. And I thought Jason did a good job tonight.
Nikita Prishapov was a player that impressed at Dev Camp, and this is now maybe among the first live viewings of his play. What have you learned in just the short bursts that you've seen of him?
Well, I thought he was pretty smart on the defensive side of things. Like even on the forecheck, he managed his depth as F3 and didn't get caught out of position too much. Same kind of category as some of these other guys where it's their first taste of a rookie camp or a rookie tournament. It's going to take a little bit of time for them to, feel comfortable out on the ice and with their teammates. But I thought he did a good job. I thought, his line had an identity all night. And, he's a big, strong kid that can patrol the middle of the ice and be a little physical out there as well.
Good for me, Coach.
It's a tall task, but how can you help support a player like Oscar Olausen trying to bounce back from a season-ending injury?
Well, first I thought Oscar, you can tell he put the work in this offseason. He looks big, he looks strong, he looks quick. It doesn't look like he's tentative out on the ice, especially in the first period. I thought he went out to, his points hard and made an emphasis on finishing his check and getting himself comfortable in some physical situations. You'd like to see him shoot the puck, hit the post early, scored a nice goal and a quick release off the faceoff. So you can see, he wants to make an impact. He wants to leave a good impression, and I think tonight was a good start for him.
Good start. A lot more to come. Great insight from Coach. He took some great time with us. And big thank you, first of all, before we get your 30,000-foot view, to the Avs organization, Luke on the ground, setting everything up for us, doing a great job. Thank you much, much, much to him and to the boys for taking the time to talk to us, and for Coach for doing the same. It's a long day for everybody. And a big shout-out to our man Bill Dobbs back at the Avs training facility at Family Sports for linking us up with his nephew Chance, who is the Bill of the Toyota Center. So family doing things for family, and that's what hockey family is. We talk about it all the time, but we got this great studio set up literally just off of the rinks here at the Toyota Center, so it makes life easy for everybody because there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. So big thank you to him, and a big thank you to our team behind the scenes, Tiff and Kale, just doing awesome yeoman's work. This went by way too fast. We're coming to the end of our first pod here from the Rookie Faceoff. Just give me your 30,000-foot view on day one, both of you, and then we'll have a lot more to talk about tomorrow.
Look, Rookie Faceoff, for a lot of these guys, it's about the long term. It's about earning contracts. It's about taking that next step in your career. But we saw two guys play for the Colorado Avalanche today that after today, I truly believe will play NHL games this year. Jason Polin and Callum Ritchie. Polin, I think, is a call-up. Ritchie, we'll see. He's a guy who can make this team out of camp. If he doesn't, I'm confident he'll play games at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw one more in. My new friend Sean Behrens. I mean, even though he beat BU last year, so I'm still mad at him for that. DU beat BU. Sounds the same. I'm mad at him for that. But I do believe this kid's going to play in the National Hockey League. I do. Is he going to be at the start? Probably, maybe not. But he's going to play games in the National Hockey League. He's going to have a career in the National Hockey League. Why? He's got a brain, knows how to play hockey. He's got a head on his shoulder. It was fun. Now, I would like to be a fly on the wall for some of those kids right there. Mm-hmm. They got back to the hotel, called their mom, dad, girlfriends, whatever it is, agent, and it's so funny because it's like, because you're thinking about this all summer. You're thinking about this your whole life for some of them, and then all of a sudden, like, don't kid yourself, Cal Ritchie. First time ever he puts an Avalanche sweater. First time. He was last year, putting a T-shirt on because he was injured does not count. So now it's there, and it's like, all right, mission accomplished. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, now tomorrow we do it again. And that's the toughest thing to do, is to reach consistency when you're a young guy.
There are a couple.
No. Go.
There are a couple kids pulling a tie on that phone call.
Yes, for sure. Call their mom and dad and in tears, and they're like, "Oh God, I messed up. I made a bad pass. It's okay, son. It's okay."
I was talking about his Gen Z lingo that you didn't understand.
Oh, sorry. See, I didn't get it. My fault.
Eric thought buns was a good thing. So.
Buns, yeah. I asked my son, how'd you play? He goes, I was buns. I'm like, all right. I was like, buns is not good. I was like, okay. That's buns.
That's sauce, dude. Sauce.
Big sus.
Sauce. I don't even know what's happening.
It's a long day.
The sleep deprivation is now affecting my language and my Riz. It's affecting my Riz.
Should we do another lap around LAX? Is that?
I may have made a wrong turn off of Sepulveda, okay? And it may have added 15, maybe 20 minutes to our drive, but I did it intentionally for the bonding purposes of the team and our wonderful rental car that we were provided here. Listen, we got a ton of fun the rest of this week. I can't believe we brought that up. Man, I apologized like 5 times in the car for that. God, stupid. Sorry, Tiff. I apologize to you.
Kale was right. It was good bonding.
It was good bonding. We got a bunch of cool folks. One of the joys of being around this league for as long as we've been around this league, we've made a lot of good friends. And hockey is a big family. And it's super cool catching up with all of them. And they're going to come hang out with us.
A lot of prominent figures around the National Hockey League will join us next couple days. A lot of Avalanche staff members like Brian Wilsey and Danny Heino, 2001 Stanley Cup winner, former training camp teammate of mine. Training camp teammate, because I was there and then he was going back to juniors. But love Danny. Great addition. So it'll be fun. And Wilson's a great kid as well. So actually, they were both teammates in Hershey together. So.
Find us on social. We're going to be posting a bunch of cool stuff to Twitter, some other little updates, some things here and there. Again, we got the Celebrini presser up there, the Smith presser up there. Check all of that out. We'll have some other one-off interviews that we just don't have room for in the show, so make sure you are subscribing. Make sure you check that little alarm button because you want to know when we're throwing stuff up there. Get notified on our posts. Become a diehard and interact with us. By all means, tweet. Jump in the chat. Interact, come say hi. We got a ton of cool stuff coming up for you, so please stay with us all week. We love you, and we can't wait to bring you all this content. Big thank you to everybody here on the ground and all the guys back to and girls at the studio who helped make it all possible. But to Kale and Tiff behind the scenes, for E and Rudo, I'm Gizmo. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow from the Toyota Center in LA.
We all silly like the mayor.